Hello and welcome to the L15weekly podcast, giving you the latest news, views and opinions from the football world. On today's episode, we are going to be talking all things Newcastle United. Last week we did the story of Sheffield United. Thank you to everybody who joined us for that podcast. Trying to keep you busy, trying to keep you occupied during this time of trouble here in the UK, so you guys can listen to this, during your lockdown. What better things have you got to do apart from watching paint dry than listen to my lovely raspy tones guide you through the football world, which is currently on partial shutdown. But today we're going to be talking about Newcastle United's takeover deal, which is happening very soon. So let's get straight into this video. So, if you didn't already know, owner Mike Ashley of Newcastle is on the verge of selling the club to a consortium led by Amanda Staveley for £300 million, which would see the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, chaired by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, take an 80% stake in the Tyneside club. The takeover is expected to be completed and formally announced by the 1st of May, providing its new ownership pass the Premier League's owners and directors test, designed to ensure parties meet the standards greater than required under law as to protect the reputation and image of the game. So, they've the government of the Premier League have got to approve this takeover bid, but you've got to think, for Newcastle, what an amazing move this could end up being for them. The reign of terror, if you like, of Mike Ashley protested against so much could well be over in a matter of weeks, and I think it would be amazing if they were to get somebody like this to help turn the team around. If you remember, back in the 2000s. I can't remember exactly when that would be, but Manchester City, they were a team like Newcastle who were mid-table. I'll call Newcastle mid-table for now, but they were mid-table. And now look at Man City once they had that investment from Arab Emirates. You look at the investment from that and how much that had bought on Manchester City, and now Newcastle United look to be getting a similar influx of money. And you never know what this is going to do for the club, whether it will affect them negatively or whether, but you think about the players they could bring in. It depends how much this guy and this firm is going to invest. If they invest a lot in this club, Newcastle, they could beat Europa League, Champions League in a few years' time. You never know. And after doing a bit of further research, I found out that Amanda Staveley is a powerful figure in Middle Eastern financial circles, having helped broker the purchase of Manchester City by Sheikh Mansour. So that is incredibly interesting. That she could help get this. She could help us get this deal through. And this Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund is one of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, with a reported asset of £250.86 billion to their name. So if you think an owner like that or a firm like that are coming into this club, and they could propel them into all sorts of directions. I've heard rumours on the internet now about Maurizio Pochettino, former Tottenham and Southampton manager, also having a look. But Steve Bruce could be out the door. If they start bringing in these new players, they may not feel that Steve Bruce is the man to take them forward. If they start spending hundreds of £1 million on players, Steve Bruce might not get much time at the club. They may not feel he's the guy to lead them forward, but I know a man who would be the right man to lead them forward, and that'd be Maurizio Pochettino. You saw what he did with sort of limited funds, not the best amount of money at Southampton, and he did an outstanding job. European football, that sort of thing. And if he were to get the job at Newcastle, what a great signing that would be, a manager. Or even Rafa Benitez has been rumoured to be going back to the club to take them to that next level, but I'm not quite sure that will happen. Well, it could, because no Ashley in the picture. No Ashley probably brings a lot of happiness to a lot of Newcastle fans. The thing for Newcastle fans to think about is that there's perhaps been another bid put in for the Saudi, not for the Saudi investment, for Newcastle United Football Club. And apparently there's another bid on the table which current owner Mike Ashley prefers, which I don't know, but there is one that Mike Ashley may prefer better, and if he may just be a bit evil with that and just decide to take the lower and probably less less impressive offer. So and the UK government said that they will not be blocking the takeover of Newcastle United, which is nice to see. People have been questioning the ethics of this, whether they're making the right decision by letting this bid go through and letting this takeover happen, because you don't want to see football being ruined by rich people coming in and buying all the good players, and then all the good players come in, and then that team will win the league 5 years in a row, and then another team will come and get taken over. You don't want that sort of thing to happen in football. You want it to be as fair as possible. Yes, there'll be teams who are more successful, so they will earn more, so they will win more, so they will buy better players. For example, Manchester United, hugely successful team, rake in the money because of they've got some wealthy owners, but they also used to balance that with the amount of success that they were getting. Same with teams like Liverpool, teams like Chelsea. Chelsea, have had some rich owners have had a rich owner take them over recently, or relatively recently. But you don't want to see team after team after team having rich owners coming in. Teams that should not be winning the league. Judging by history or current form. But just because of the money they've been bought in, you want to see teams do well. You don't ever want to see a team do horribly well unless they're really your rivals. But the fee agreed for this is quite substantial, and the amount that this Saudi investment fund are worth. Sheffield United also had a Saudi firm come in at one point, and they own them now, and they've done incredibly well, but they haven't put a load of money in. Maybe that's the sort of thing Newcastle could be getting. Maybe we're just getting ahead of ourselves by linking Newcastle with Mbappe. But the fact that they are coming in with a £300 million bid, Ashley has said he could be persuaded with that sort of money. Obviously, anybody would really. But if this bid is to go through, you are right to start linking them with amazing players. But whether they're actually going to be able to pick them up, I mean, if Pochettino's being swayed by this job, and the fact that he's been linked with Man United and things like that, this could be the job for him, Newcastle. To take a team further than he's ever gone before, and try and get them into Champions League football. I don't see why they couldn't by next season be pushing Europa League places. I mean, you've seen teams like Newcastle do it before. You've seen Wolves do it before. Just come up from the Championship, a couple of seasons rebuild, and then you're ready for Europa League football. I think Newcastle are ready for European football if they bring in a few new faces and they get that financial backing behind them. I mean, one of the biggest things that have been standing in Newcastle's way over the past few years is the owner, and that is Mike Ashley, because he has caused a lot of pain and upset among Newcastle fans, and Newcastle fans are just waiting to see the back of him, and I don't blame them, because the way he's treated the club, the way he's ran the club, is not the way for a football club to be run. You want to see the fans being put first, and they were not put first during his spell at the club. And it'd be interesting to see if this new owner comes in and treats Newcastle properly. I mean, you saw Sheffield United's Saudi Arabian owners that we talked about in last week's episode. If you haven't seen that, go and check that out already. Cheeky plug. You've seen them treat the club properly. You've seen them mix a bit of club heritage with Chris Wilder, with a bit of money that they backed them with, and I love that about Sheffield United and their owners. You just hope that Newcastle, West Brom, I'm going to relate them to my own team, but we thought, because we were getting this Chinese chairman who was worth billions and billions of pounds, and he put in this huge offer to take over the club, we thought, wow, we're really getting a good owner in here. And he's given some money, fair enough, but not the money that we were promised, if you get what I mean, not the money that was rumoured to be being put into the club. So Newcastle fans, I wouldn't get your hopes up too high for now. Maybe when wholesale changes start coming in, or if they do start coming in, then that's when you start getting yourself all excited. Because if you start getting excited now, you may be set up for a little bit of a disappointment if he doesn't end up putting much money into the club. But obviously with the West Brom situation that I've just talked about, I'm only talking about that because it's a situation that I can explain well. But we were promised millions of pounds, and we got some, but not all. So I wouldn't get too ahead of yourself, Newcastle fans. So that is it for this week's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it during these difficult times, getting to grips with Newcastle's new takeover deal, which could go through very soon. If you want to hear more from me, on more than a weekly basis, go and follow me on Twitter at L15weekly. I'm regularly posting views about the football world on there, regularly retweeting things that you guys might want to see, videos, things like that, stats and things. If you guys want to go and check that out, you're more than welcome to. Also Instagram at L15weekly. And thank you all for joining this episode, and we'll see if this takeover deal goes through in the near future. So thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.